charts. Oke, ini juga another kind of different ball game. Tapi basically this just to go quickly. Kadang-kadang we ask for the data from interviewer. Jadi there are two ways, right? They can ask us to calculate, atau the second thing is they show us the charts. Jadi ini sama lagi. Basically the reason why we use charts adalah karena itu visual banget. Jadi in our daily work in consulting, really our product is PowerPoint slides. Karena itu kayak the most effective way to communicate our ideas to the client. Jadi kayak you can have a super complex Excel model, misalnya, wah, gue bikin ini model investment gue kayak bertap-tap 100 steps, but you can bring that to the client, okay? Because there's no way the client want to like sit through, especially kalau dia CEO, they just don't have time to listen to that. Really, kayak the charts are how you simplify your messages than the numbers, okay? Jadi the key to doing charts, first, look at the axis dulu. Jadi understand what the chart is. Dan this is kayak really simple, tapi kadang-kadang kita suka lupa. Karena kadang-kadang kita mau jump right into the chart. Tapi really honestly, sometimes the charts yang mereka kasih tuh kayak bisa yang kayak nggak jelas gitu. Always check dulu aksesnya itu apa, y-aksesnya apa, x-aksesnya apa, terus title graph-nya apa, terus dan kalau ada footnote, please look at the footnote. Karena biasanya that's where another trick hides. Once you understand all of this, jangan dibaca satu-satu, jangan I look at the y-axis, it says this, the x-axis says this, the footnote says this, jangan dibaca grafnya. But basically use one sentence to summarize what this graph tells you about. Okay, jadi jangan narrate the entire graph, tapi jangan diem juga. Jadi the moment you receive it, say thanks, terus kayak langsung summarize it, the first thing that you see. Terus the second thing itu adalah start looking for the insights. Nah, biasanya ini ada two level kind of insights. The first one itu biasanya karena itu visual, ada insight yang langsung kelihatan. Terus yang kedua, you want to start looking for insights that are not so obvious. Karena itu biasanya yang the most interesting thing. And that's how you differentiate yourself from other interviews juga. Jadi showcase your skills kalau you can also look for things that are not so obvious. Okay? Jadi at this point, just tell the interviewer, what strikes me is that what jumps out to me is this. What is most interesting to me from this chart is this. Okay, then as always, just like math, what's next? Okay, ask yourself, ini so what sih? Jadi kayak all my insights, how does it fit into my recommendation to the big picture? Then what is next? Yeah, any other data that you want to know, any other explanation that you're looking for? Okay, so this one, let's just go into examples. Jadi I have a few graphs here. Jadi kita bareng aja. Okay, so I will show you the chart. I walk through the thought process for the first one. Jadi yang pertama ini, klien kita ini adalah, it's a credit card company. Jadi mereka ngeluarin credit card. Dan they have been experiencing declining profits for the past 4 years. Jadi profitnya turun, dan mereka mau tahu kenapa profitnya turun. Jadi you have this chart, okay? Jadi now your brain is spinning, right? You get this chart. Jadi first force yourself to look at the axis. Ini customer satisfaction score-nya, ngitung ini, terus x-axis-nya over the years. Terus I see that there are 3 lines here. Jadi ini summarize. So summarize it to the interviewer. This chart shows the customer satisfaction score trend for our competitors and also us over the past 4 years. Terus the next step adalah you can look into the insights. Okay, the first thing that jump up itu adalah yang merah ini kayak beda banget dari yang biru sama hijau, right? So that's the first level. The second level of insight adalah actually it was quite stable dari 2010 to 2011. Jadi kayak kita baru turun dari 2010 to 2011. So these are the 2 insights. Okay, so tell the interviewer the first one, something happened here 2011. Dan ingat, this question is about profits dan about revenue, so tie it back to the revenue, dan bilang our customer satisfaction score took a hit di 2011, then it might have impacted the usage of the credit cards. Terus you can also say that, but our our competitors are all doing fine. In fact, they're seeing increasing customer satisfaction scores. So it must either be something that we did or something that we did not do, but the competitors actually did. So those are the 2 insights. Then the next adalah, so what? Okay. The next step adalah, we have the satisfaction score. We want to drill down further. Apa sih what happened to 2011? Jadi ask for more data, ask for ada any big changes nggak? Biayanya atau benefit, kayak they launch a new app or something yang we didn't do. So that's example for line chart. Let's go to the next one. Jadi situasinya, klien kita adalah PE, private equity company, dan mereka mau mengakuisisi Big Yellow Bus Company, yang adalah pabrik yang bikin school buses di the US. So yeah, they want to know whether they should proceed with the investment.
Actually, in terms of units, our market share is lower compared to our market share per dollars, meaning initial assumption that the price that this Big Yellow Bus is selling higher compared to the other competitor. So that's interesting notes. The other is that in terms of the margin, apparently we have the lowest one compared to our competitors, right? Because this case promise to determine whether it's good to proceed with the investment, I think we need to see whether this Big Yellow Bus, in terms of maybe the pricing itself, the amount that we can acquire is lower compared to competitor A and B. So I think just looking at the margin itself is not enough. See more into the how much value does this Big Yellow Bus go worth compared to the competitor A and B.
Yes, okay, that's really good, Ryan. Yeah, spot on. Jadi dua insights. Yang pertama ini adalah market share dan dalam dolar dan unit. Kalau dalam dolar, we're really good, tapi kalau dari unit kita kalah. Jadi you're right, it's really about price issue here. Terus gross margin kita kayak lower than competitors. Jadi it may be a cost issue. Jadi the next step maybe to see whether there are any cost levers that we can pull to create more value before we invest, while investing in this. Next one, okay, this is one of my favorite chart. Ini namanya Marimekko chart. Okay, dan basically Marimekko itu kayak usually they will show the entire market. Terus mereka bakal nge-breakdown into segments. Terus ada players-nya. Jadi misalnya di sini our client adalah CZG, dan basically they play in the kayaknya ini komputer industry ya. Basically what the question is adalah mereka mau expand their presence, jadi mau nyari segmen baru from the market. Jadi segmen mana yang they should enter. Again, kayak first step, look at the axis. Ini jadi ini marketnya. Kemudian something that jumps out here. Okay, immediately you can see kalau the biggest two segments adalah yang 25 billion ini. Jadi custom applications dengan telecom equipment. Okay, that's one thing that jump out. Terus the second thing that jumps out is also untuk superkomputer, cuma ada 3 pemainnya. Okay, jadi we can know that if you want to enter a market, you likely want to enter a market that is not very concentrated, karena it's easier to acquire, pemain yang lebih kecil. Jadi ini immediately yang 16 billion ini nggak kita pakai. So it's either the custom applications or telecom equipment. Dan kalau kita lihat custom applications itu lebih banyak lagi. Mereka banyak banget others-nya. So there are a lot of small players that you can acquire here. So then this will be the market that you suggest. Okay. So these are all the insights. I'll let you read on your own. And just remember what the next step is. Okay. Next one is also my favorite, bubble chart. Ini bubble chart itu kayaknya sebenarnya like a normal chart. Cuma dia 3 dimensi. Jadi ada y-axis-nya, ada x-axis, dan the third dimension is basically the size of the bubble. Okay, in this case, the client adalah city government yang mau develop a housing strategy. Jadi out of all of this, what should they focus on? Okay, so you look at this chart. This is basically telling you of all the different types of housing, what is the number of housing? Jadi itu bubble size-nya. Growth rate dari harganya berapa, dan growth rate dari segi unitnya berapa. Okay, kemudian if you see ada yang affordable dan ada yang other, immediately you can see 2 things, right? Jadi yang pertama itu adalah, you see that all the affordable one itu di kuadran ini, yang satu, sedangkan yang others itu di atas. Jadi which means that the affordable housing is growing slower in terms of units, dan juga in terms of price is also not doing very well in terms of growth. Jadi in terms of units it's bad. Karena sebagai city government, you want to make sure that you have a lot of affordable housing. Okay, dan in terms of price, well, it can work 2 ways. Kayak pertama, if it's not growing as fast, it means that it's still affordable, then it's easier to buy. But it could also mean that it's, it has lower return on investment. So those are the 2 insights that you can get from here. Jadi, looking at that, then you probably want to focus on maybe a low-cost house, karena mereka itu dari segi unit itu berkurang, tapi harganya ini lumayan tinggi. Okay, jadi basically casing ini adalah combination of science and art. Okay, jadi on one side, you have all these frameworks, bikin misi frameworknya, terus dari segi math-nya, the timing, dan your business judgment. Tapi on the other hand itu juga art. Jadi kayak you can develop your own style. Jangan cuma kayak do the casing, but bring your personality juga, your excitement to it. Dan very important frameworknya kalau bisa dibikin unique, so unique to the case. Karena it's very tempting untuk kayak ngehafal semua frameworks, terus thinking that you can go into the case dan kayak tinggal nge-apply framework. Tapi most of the case it doesn't work that way. Most of the time you probably already have your personal experience dan personal judgment to know how to go about. Jadi rely more on those skills. Okay, so I think in terms of preparing for case interviews, practice is really important. Like again, ini I'm pretty sure kayak a lot of us we do our job really well dan everything. Tapi case interview itu kayak it's just a very kayak unnatural kind of a way of doing interviews that you just need to practice to get used to the mechanics. Jadi I would encourage you to find teman-teman yang juga pengen practice case interview, terus just regularly just like practice. Dan banyak banget resources online kayak Google atau website-nya consulting firm, they have sample cases, jadi kayak tinggal dipakai aja. Okay, and maybe you guys can even kayak contact the people who are in this Handayani project to actually set up this group. Okay. The second thing is like focus on the quality and over quantity. Jadi yang always don't just case for the sake of casing. Be open to feedback. Then always try to improve. Jadi maybe you can start with a lot of practice at the start. Tapi once you get comfortable to the mechanics, then focus on the quality. Okay. And lastly, jangan cuma nge-case dan practice case doang. Even though it's really important. Always keep the big picture in mind juga, ask yourself why you want to go into consulting, okay, and reflect on why you want to join the specific firm, what is your strength, your areas of improvement, what your leadership experience. Then most of all, remember that your career is a marathon, it's not a sprint, okay, so even if you really want to go into consulting, but like sometimes things don't work out, it's really fine because you can always try again.